So, we are revising all that we did on letter writing as well. In the exam, letter writing carries 50 marks. You are aware. And 50 marks, that should be a lot of marks. I taught you that basically we have two types of letters. We have the formal letters, we have the informal letters. That in those days they used to talk about semi-formal letters. But today, whenever the questions are set, the letter you are required to write will be either formal or the informal one. I told you formal letters are letters that we write for official purposes. For official purposes. And who are the categories of people that we write formal letters to, as I taught you then? Who and who do you write formal letters to? Chairman of a community. Who taught you that? Of a local government. A local government chairman to write a letter to the governor of a state. It's a formal letter. Director of an organization. Okay. What about letter to the editor of a newspaper? Letter to the editor of a newspaper. It's a formal letter. If you are asked to write a letter to the PTA chairman of your school, what type of letter is that? It's a formal letter. If you are asked to write a letter to the general manager of Nigerian Television Authority, Abeokuta, condemning a particular TV program which you think should not be in the interest of the young ones, and you are suggesting a better program instead of that one, what type of letter is that? That's also a formal letter. If you are absent from school and you want to write a letter to your class teacher giving reasons, what type of letter is that? It's also a formal letter. Fine. If you are asked to write a letter to your friend who was absent from school, and you want to tell him or her those activities the friend missed in the school, what type of letter is that? Informal letter. Informal letter. Now, to write a formal letter, what are the stages? What are the things or the steps you are going to take? The first one is what? Address. Address of the writer. And what? And the date. And the date. That's the first step. 2. Pardon? The receiver's address. The receiver's address. Followed by what? Pardon? Salutation. Salutation. The title of the letter. Title of the letter. Followed by introduction. Introduction. After that, body of the letter. After that, conclusion. And the last one, the last step in a formal letter is what? Complementary clues. Complementary clues. So the last stage is complementary clues. If you are asked to write a letter to the Commissioner for Education in your state, telling him or her the problems facing students in their studies, what type of letter is that? Write a letter to the Commissioner for Education in your state, telling him or her the problems facing students in their studies. So let me see your approach. Write the first 3 steps. The first 3 steps. You said it's a formal letter. So let me see your attempts. The first 3 steps. Write a letter to the Commissioner for Education in your state, telling him or her the problems facing students in their studies. The problems facing students in their studies. So the first 3 steps. Remember the way I taught you the address you'll be reaching. Remember the errors that could make you to score 0 in the address. What's your PMB?
207.
Huh?
207.
2,
7.
7, 9. Look up, everybody. Now, this is supposed to be on a straight line. Okay? As I taught you then. So that if you put your ruler like that, it will be on a straight line. 2. Every line ends with a comma, except Ogun State, full stop. 13th March, comma, 2025, full stop. And March is a proper noun. It begins with a capital letter. I told you, PNB 279, Idiaba is not the location of that post office. Once you put PNB, don't put Idiaba again. When you put Idiaba, don't put PNB. Just write Baptist Girls College, comma, Idiaba, comma, Abeokuta, comma, Ogun State. No problem. But for you to combine PNB and Idiaba together, you get 0 because that PNB means private mail bag. That is situated in the post office, Shakmo. If you are putting anything at all after PNB, it should be Shakmo, comma, Abeokuta, comma. Not Idiaba. That's why you got, some of you got it wrong. Did you get my explanation?
Yes, sir.
And from other schools, some did not put comma after March. Some did not even punctuate well. You've forgotten everything I taught you then. And you are not reading. It's obvious that you have not been reading. Then, designation and the address of the receiver. Designation and the address of the receiver. You don't know when you are writing such a letter. Now, directly under this one, you write the designation. Who is the receiver of that letter? The Honorable Commissioner. That is, when the letter gets to that ministry, where is it going to? It's going to the commissioner's office. Which ministry? That is, commissioner for which ministry? That's when you now write Ministry of Education, comma, Science and Technology, comma. Some of you wrote Ministry of Education under Science and Technology. That's enjambment. I've told you it's not allowed in letter writing. It must be contained in one line. You must structure your handwriting in such a way that it is accommodating such. Where is that ministry situated? Okay, Mason. Okay, Mason. Come on. Abeokuta, full stop. There is no need of Ogun State again because you are within the same state. And there is no date under this one. Writing that for the examiner is to let him know that you are not mature to write YA. If somebody is still writing it under receiver's address at this stage, then you leave a line in between to write, dear sir, comma, that dear sir is on the same line, not that it is protruded to the front. Same line, dear sir. This is what I expected from you. And you'll have performed excellently well if you have done this. Who did words on the board? You see, unacceptable. Now, if the title of that letter, from the question, you structure the title out. Problems facing students in their studies. Now, let's discuss the body of that letter together. What are those problems you are facing in your studies? those points you would like to advance, those points you would like to discuss with the commissioner. Are you facing any problem in your studies? You are not facing any problem in your studies. Look at Nigerian students. Okay, no problem. Right there in the exam, the students are not facing any problems in their studies. No problem. The examiner will say, oh, excellent of you. So you don't know that in the letter, or let's say for the examination purpose, whether they are out or they are not, you manufacture. What the examiner wants to test is your imaginative skill. That skill you have. So, I'll be calling one by one. Tell me the problems you are facing in your school. Then there are no problems. You have enough teachers? Yes. For all the subjects, you have enough teachers for all the subjects?
No, sir.
Like how many students in a class? How many? 58 in a class. Okay. Do you know what UNESCO, also UNICEF, recommended? Have you been to those first class private schools? I'm not talking about those ones around you here. Have you been to their class before? How many students do you see in the class? How many students are supposed to be to a teacher at the point in time? Maximum of 25 students to a teacher. That's the normal thing. Do you have enough teaching facilities in your schools? You be dreaming. You're deceiving yourselves. Have you ever seen an overhead projector being used in your classroom before?
Yes. Yes.
Stand up. This girl has been saying yes to everything. Get up. Get up. So all your teachers come to the class with overhead projectors. Your teacher is teaching you biology, for example, reproduction in a snail, and she's able to project a video on the board and you watch it. Circulatory system, it is projected to the wall, and you're able to see how blood is circulating in the heart. They've been doing that for you. This one is not helping schools, though. Yeah. Yes. So every student with a laptop in the class. So your biology teacher in this school has been projecting topics on the board for you, and they've been watching. Not all. Okay. Like what subject? Biology teacher. How many times has you done that? 2 times. Since your GSS 1 to SS 3. I said from GSS 1 to SS 3, how many times have you seen the projector being used? Many times in the junior school. Is it true? Are we discussing computer here now? I said biology. It's okay, in the senior school. Chemistry. Physics. English language. Suppose I'm teaching comprehension now. Instead of those listening comprehension, I can decide to project a passage, a comprehension passage, on the wall for you. In the next 10 minutes, answer this. It's not like that. I'm even going too far. If you go to your laboratory there, are you telling me all the required equipment for laboratory work? We are going to find it. They ask you, answer that question. Yes, you will say per person. How many students per paper will per practical with that lab accommodate? If I'm sure there are 600 in the science class, they will have alternative A, B, C. They are not going to 600 now. Okay, you are like how many? Pardon? 400. Can your laboratory accommodate 400 students at a time? Like how many can the lab accommodate at once? Like how many? You don't know. Truth is scarce from your mouth. Some other problems you might be facing too, like bullying from seniors. Like some students who are not ready to learn that are disturbing the school, and you actually want the commissioner to allow the principal to expel from school. Those who are ready to learn, those other ones are not ready to allow them. It's part of the problem we can talk about. Problem on its own. So, each of the problems will be discussed in a separate paragraph. And you don't need to itemize 7, 8, 9, 10. If you discuss 4 problems, you are okay. Then, the complementary clues. What's the complementary clues for a formal letter? Not faith fully, comma, signature, Adeyemi, Abiola, full stop. Now, capital letter Y, there is no apostrophe on R, small letter S, comma, signature, surname first, then your own name. That's a formal letter, the complementary clues.
Clues must be aligned.
Like,
The first letter must be at the same.
that is this one.
Yes.
Yes, your teacher is correct.
And the signature.
The signature can be in the middle. After the signature. But for this one, yes, it will be on the straight line. That is formal letter. I'm seeing some of you writing dear sir with small letter S in sir. Sir, S in that sir should be a capital letter. Capital letter. So that is formal letters. We now want to discuss informal letters. I'm sure if you are given a formal letter to write an exam again, you perform better than you did. Informal letters are letters that we write to family members, father, mother, brother, sister, friend, and other close associates. Other close associates. To write an informal letter, the following steps will be taken. 1. The address of the writer and the date. 2. Salutation. 3. Introduction, which is in form of greetings. Body of the letter. Conclusion. And the last one is complementary clues. Complementary clues. Those are the stages of an informal letter. Stages of an informal letter. Now, if you are to write a letter to your friend who was absent from school throughout last week, telling that friend an important activity he or she missed. I want to tell the friend details of the events. Okay, let me give it to you as a question, which we are going to do now. Your friend was absent from school throughout last week. Your friend was absent from school throughout last week. Write a letter to him or her. Write a letter to him or her on a particular major event that took place in the school. Major events that took place in the school. Narrating in detail how it took place. How it took place. I want you to write the first step, second step, third step, then the last two. So leaving the body for discussion later. The first step, the second step, the third step, the conclusion, the complementary clues. The same type of address you need for the formal letter is allowed to be written for an informal letter. Write the complementary clues. So you get some more like this something I can fetch you from, man. It's my pleasure to write this letter to you, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Now, the complimentary close for an informal letter is yours sincerely, doing full stop. No need of surname, no signature, nothing. Just sincerely and your name and full stop. That's all. Tomorrow, by the grace of God, I'm going to give you a whole essay to write. Either essay or letter. You write one tomorrow. But before then, I'll first revise essay writing with you. You know, I've revised letter writing today. So tomorrow, I'll revise essay writing. After that revision, I will now decide to give you an essay of 450 words to write. And I will mark before we leave this place. This one will not be something I will take home. I will mark them here before I go. And you have your scripts so that you know where you belong. And by next week, by the grace of God, according to the management, there's going to be an exam. The exam will be written on Friday. So the last week of your stay here, there will be corrections on the exam, and there will be a convocation that you are doing. What? So everything will meet us in peace. Any question on what we have done today? No question. Any question? Okay, what's your question?
This informal letter, can we write our surname and our name? Or only name? Like, you don't say name. You don't say the
You know why they are all laughing? I just said it now. Are you fasting? No signature. And you're in the front. That's why they are laughing. I've answered your question. Any other question? No other question. So see you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.